Now, Charles, what are fiscal notes, and when and how have you used them to advance the public good? And I got numerous emails asking me to ask you about fiscal notes and how they've been used and how they advance the public good.
Okay, I'm gonna probably cannot do it in a minute. So
you can do it in 2 minutes.
You might as well put that one down. It's not going to be answered in a minute. Fiscal notes. We have a division. I'm chairman of the Finance, Ways and Means Committee. I do not write fiscal notes. I do not write fiscal notes. No member writes fiscal notes. We have a division in the state that writes the fiscal notes on bills. They'll look at a bill, and I'm going to give you a couple of easy ones. A lot of the bills are incarceration. So if you go from a misdemeanor to a felony, that person's going to go to jail. And there is a cost related to that person going to jail. So they figure out if they're going to be in jail for 2 years, 3 years. They figure out, how much it's going to cost for that person to stay in prison. That's one idea on the fiscal note. When it comes to a business regulation, there'll be a fiscal note, but there's a whole division. No legislator.
Keep going, and then I have
Well, no legislator writes fiscal notes. A fiscal note is assigned most of the time to every bill, unless it doesn't. Well, some bills don't have a fiscal note, but a fiscal note will be assigned to a bill, and then the sponsor will work with the fiscal committee to see if that fiscal note is correct or not.
Okay, now the question I'm going to ask you, as the chairman, do you refer bills for fiscal notes? Because there's a belief out there among the public, and we know, the public doesn't always get it right, but they believe that that's a way you kill legislation that you don't want.
That's what I'm saying. There's a whole division that writes fiscal notes. I do not send any bill to that division to write a fiscal note. When a bill is placed or written, it gets assigned to a committee. At that time, that committee or the division that writes fiscal notes will look at that and see if there's a fiscal note. If there is, it goes to the fiscal division, then comes back to the county, comes back to that committee. But no, I do not write them. I do not try to kill bills with fiscal notes. It's not in my privilege or in my purview to even, this is where the misconception is, but no, we do not.
Okay, now is this the fiscal notes division? Are these like just career politicians, or are they bipartisan? I mean, who are the people that make those decisions that do the budget analysis?
Luke got run out. We're doing two different things now. We're talking budget analysis.
Well, I mean, fiscal note analysis.
Okay. The fiscal review, they are appointed by basically the chairman of the committee, the fiscal review committee. They are they work for the state, but they actually work for the House and the Senate.
Okay.
They are appointed they're completely outside, no legislators are on it or anything of that nature. They're completely outside body.
Is there any accountability, and well, I don't want to spend all our time on this, but it's something that's important to a lot of people.
Is there accountability? Yes. If you get a fiscal note on a bill, and I think maybe Representative Cassidy can explain this, if you get a fiscal note on a bill, and let's say you do not agree with the fiscal note, then you go to fiscal review and you say, why did you put the fiscal note on? How did you come up with this number? And then you, as the sponsor of that bill, can work with them and have that either lowered, removed, or something of that nature. To give an example, another example of a fiscal note, I know this is very complicated. When a bill gets assigned, they write the fiscal note for it. I have no control over that or anything else. But it's no different on incarceration. If you're going to spend 3 years in a state prison or 2 years in a state prison, it's a lot more expensive than 2 years in a county jail. County jail, they get $37 a day. In the state, it costs about $67 a day. So there's a difference in the fiscal note if you just looked at it and didn't get it corrected as far as that's concerned. So,
thank you.
And Glenn made So it's not just coming from me, but we have nothing to do with the,
Thank you.
that legislation.
Thank you.
With the fiscal note.
Glenn, I don't want you to talk about fiscal notes. I have something else for you.
I'm team ready.
If you can do it in 30 seconds.
But the chairman's correct. Accountants and research analysts look at and analyze it, and then they put a number on the bill, and it's that simple.